Let me ask you something. You know what I'm talking about, right? You grab last night's dinner from the fridge, throw it in the microwave for a minute, and boom, hot lunch ready to go. We've all done this a million times. I mean, who hasn't? Being smart with money and not throwing away food. That's just how we were raised. But here's the thing, and I really need you to pay attention to this part. This habit we all have. It might actually be hurting us, without us even knowing it. Some foods, when they sit overnight and you reheat them, can actually develop compounds that are pretty bad for you. Sometimes it's just a stomach ache. Other times, well, it could be worse than that. Look, I'm not trying to freak you out here. This is real research we're talking about. Today I want to tell you about 5 foods we all have in our kitchens, that can actually become dangerous when you leave them overnight and then heat them up again. This affects every single meal you and your family eat. So please stick with me on this first one. Leafy greens, spinach, celery, stuff like that. We all know vegetables are good for us, right? Full of vitamins and all that good stuff. But here's what most people don't know. Leafy greens have something called nitrates in them. Now, nitrates by themselves, totally fine. But here's where it gets tricky. When that bowl of cooked spinach sits on your counter cooling down, little microorganisms in the air start to get to work on it. They turn those harmless nitrates into nitrates. And nitrates, that's where we run into problems. Then, when you zap it in the microwave, that heat just speeds up the whole process. Too many nitrates can mess with how oxygen moves through your blood, makes you feel crappy. And if you're doing this for years, your body's going to pay for it. So here's what I do. I only cook what I'm going to eat right then there. If I have leftovers, I'll eat them cold, or I just toss them. I know it feels wasteful, but your health is worth more than a few dollars of spinach. Number 2 is going to blow your mind. Rice. How can rice be dangerous? I thought the same thing. It's not really the rice itself. It's a type of bacteria called Bacillus cereus. These things are like tiny little spores, and they're tough as nails. Even when you cook rice completely, some of these guys can survive. Leave that pot of rice sitting out for more than an hour. These little spores wake up and start multiplying like crazy. And while they're doing that, they're making toxins. Here's the scary part. These toxins don't care how hot you make that rice when you reheat it. Microwave, steamer, doesn't matter. They're still there. Ever wonder why you sometimes feel sick after eating leftover fried rice? This is why. So what do? Soon as the rice is done cooking, if I know I'm going to have leftovers, I put it straight into a container while it's still hot. No waiting around. Straight into the fridge it goes. The cold stops those bacteria dead in their tracks. Next day when I want to eat it, I make sure it's hot all the way through. And I mean, piping hot. Like steam is rolling off of it. Third one, chicken. Chicken's great for you. Lots of protein, builds muscle, all that. But that high protein, that's exactly why we need to be careful with it. When you take chicken out of the fridge and microwave it, the protein composition actually changes. And your stomach can have a really hard time digesting them. Once they've been altered like that, plus microwaves are terrible at heating evenly. One bite is burning your tongue. The next bite is still cold. Those cold spots, perfect place for salmonella to hang out. I've got 2 ways to handle leftover chicken. Best option, don't heat it up at all. Shred it up, throw it with some cucumbers and carrots. Add some dressing, chicken salad. Perfect. If you really want it hot, don't use the microwave. Get a pan, add a little water or broth, and let it simmer slowly. Or use your oven. That way it heats evenly, all the way through. Number 4, potatoes. French fry roasted potatoes, we all love them. But potatoes can actually be really dangerous if you store them wrong. I'm talking about botulism here. The World Health Organization says the botulism toxin is one of the deadliest things out there. The bacteria that makes it, it lives in soil, so it's probably on your potatoes. This bacteria loves places with no oxygen. So when you wrap cooked potatoes in plastic wrap or tin foil and leave them on the counter, you're basically creating the perfect environment for these bacteria. This toxin attacks your nervous system, starts with being tired and dizzy. Then your vision gets blurry, your mouth gets dry. It's hard to swallow, hard to talk. If you don't get help fast, it's really, really bad. And just like with rice, reheating won't save you. This toxin doesn't care how hot you make it. Never leave cooked potatoes sitting out. Ever, straight to the fridge. Mashed potatoes, potato wedges, baked potato, doesn't matter. The fridge is the only safe place. Last one, mushrooms. Mushrooms taste amazing, I get it. Good nutrition too. Lots of protein and other good stuff. But those complex proteins, that's the problem when you try to reheat them. After sitting in the fridge overnight, those proteins start breaking down. Enzymes and bacteria, they all get to work on it. This creates compounds that can be really tough on your digestive system. Reheat them. You're not just ruining the taste and nutrition, you're making those stomach-irritating compounds even worse. Best rule with mushrooms, eat them all in one sitting. If you absolutely have leftovers, eat them cold the next day. Or just throw them out. A little food waste isn't worth feeling sick. Look, I'm not trying to make you scared of leftovers. And I'm definitely not telling you to be wasteful with food. Being careful with money, that's important. What I'm saying is we can be smart about both things. Saving money and protecting our health. We've worked our whole lives to get where we are. At this point, our health is everything. Learning how to handle food properly, it's like insurance for staying healthy as we get older. Better than any vitamin you can buy. I really hope this helps you out. Let me know in the comments which one of these surprised you the most. And hey, share this with your family and friends. These little details in the kitchen, they matter more than people realize. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can keep learning about staying healthy together. I'll see you next time.